Imagine a silent courtroom, all eyes fixed on a small figure barely reaching the microphone. At just 7 years old, he is about to do something no child should ever be forced to do: testify against his own mother in a murder case. The case of Adrianna Hutto shocked America, not only because of the tragic nature of a 7-year-old girl's death, but also because of what happened afterward. Her younger brother, AJ, became the centerpiece of a trial that defied everything we thought we knew about family and justice. So stay until the end to not miss a single detail of this case. The Adrianna Hutto case is a tragic story that shook the small town of Esto, Florida in 2007. Adrianna Hutto was born on September 16, 1999, the daughter of Amanda Lewis. Amanda had previously experienced the loss of a child. Her firstborn, Alex, died at 16 months of age due to an alleged seizure disorder. Amanda Lewis, a 27-year-old woman, worked as a nursing assistant and raised her children alone in a town with only 350 inhabitants. She lived with 7-year-old Adrianna, 6-year-old Andrew Hutto, better known as AJ, and her 14-year-old stepson, Alan Michael. The Lewis family's life wasn't easy, and there were signs that things weren't well at home. Child Protective Services made regular visits to the Lewis residence. These visits were initiated after a concerning report from a school faculty member about the children's hygiene. The visits occurred weekly, every Thursday, and involved individual sessions with a social worker. The discussions mainly focused on Amanda's punishment methods. The relationship between Amanda and Adrianna was particularly tense. Amanda's co-workers reported that she frequently expressed frustration with Adrianna and openly admitted that AJ was her favorite child. Adrianna had been diagnosed with ADHD and, according to Amanda, was often disobedient and difficult to handle. 1 week before the fatal incident, Amanda made a drastic decision. She threw away most of the children's toys. When questioned about this later, Amanda claimed it was a form of punishment because the children refused to clean their room. August 8, 2007 started like any other day. Amanda returned home around 8 o'clock in the morning after her night shift at work. Exhausted, she lay down on the couch for a nap while the children watched cartoons on TV. Alan Michael, the stepson, was still asleep. Around noon, Amanda woke up. The excited children asked to play outside before going out later to buy school supplies. Amanda agreed but forbade them from entering the pool as they were preparing to leave. She allowed them to play in the yard while she tidied things up. What happened next is the subject of controversy and is at the heart of this tragic case. According to Amanda's initial account, a few minutes later, AJ ran into the house saying that Adrianna was in the pool. Amanda claims she initially understood that Adrianna was near the pool, not inside it. She told AJ to tell his sister to move away. Moments later, Amanda looked out the door and saw AJ near the pool, with his hand in the water, as if trying to pull something. She ran outside and, upon reaching the pool, found Adrianna floating face down in the water. Amanda claimed she immediately pulled the girl out of the water and noticed her skin was purple. In a panic, Amanda called 911. The call recording reveals a desperate mother screaming that her daughter wasn't breathing and begging for help. The first to arrive at the scene was the fire department chief, Charles Corcoran. He found Amanda leaning over Adrianna's body, which was soaked and still warm to the touch. Corcoran tried to resuscitate Adrianna for a few minutes before deciding to take her to the hospital, where the medical team could be better prepared. At the hospital, doctors fought for an hour to save Adrianna's life, but unfortunately, at 5:05 p.m., she was declared dead. Initially, the police treated the case as a tragic accident. The theory was that Adrianna had gone to the pool to clean some insects from the water, leaned too far, and fell in, possibly hitting her head on the bottom of the pool before drowning. The absence of a ladder to enter and exit the pool, which was stored in a shed, seemed to corroborate this theory. If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. However, the case took a dramatic turn when AJ, Adrianna's 6-year-old brother, told a completely different version of events to his grandfather. AJ claimed to have seen his mother throw Adrianna into the pool and hold her head underwater. The grandfather immediately informed the police about this new version. the police took AJ to the station for an interview. During questioning, AJ told a disturbing story. He said that Adrianna had started messing with their mother's glass cleaner, which made Amanda very angry. According to AJ, Amanda then grabbed Adrianna and threw her into the pool. AJ stated that Adrianna, who was afraid of water, started screaming, and to muffle the screams, Amanda held the girl's face underwater. This shocking revelation led the police to investigate more deeply. They discovered several concerning details. 1. Bruises were found on Adrianna's face and forehead, consistent with AJ's description of how Amanda had held the girl's face in the water. 2. The house was in poor condition. The children's room had such a strong smell of urine that the police could barely enter. There were no sheets on the beds, and the house in general was extremely messy. 3. There was a notable absence of children's toys in the house, something unusual for a family with 2 young children. 4. Amanda had a history of visits from Child Protective Services due to concerns about the children's hygiene. 5. Amanda's co-workers reported that she frequently expressed frustration with Adrianna, going as far as saying she was fed up and that she was going to kill her own daughter. The investigation also revealed disturbing details about Amanda's behavior at the hospital. Dr. Fox, one of the doctors who attended to Adrianna, reported that when she approached Amanda in the waiting room to provide information about her daughter's condition, Amanda asked almost indifferently about the vending machines. When Dr. Fox returned about an hour later with the news of Adrianna's death, Amanda showed no visible emotional reaction. Confronted with this evidence, Amanda maintained her version that Adrianna's death was an accident. She voluntarily submitted to a polygraph test, which she passed. However, the test results would not be admissible in court. As the investigation progressed, more details about Adrianna's life came to light. Amanda revealed that Adrianna had ADHD and was taking medication for it. On the day of the incident, however, Adrianna had not taken her prescribed medication. Amanda also mentioned that Adrianna had vomited several times in the hours leading up to her death. 1 month after the incident, Amanda Lewis was arrested and officially charged with aggravated child abuse and first-degree murder for Adrianna's death. The trial began in February 2008. During the trial, the prosecution built its case around AJ's testimony and the physical evidence found at the crime scene. One of the most dramatic and emotionally charged moments of the trial was AJ's testimony, who was 7 years old at the time. This was an unprecedented moment, as it was extremely unusual for such a young child to testify in a murder case, especially against their own mother. When AJ entered the courtroom, accompanied by the prosecuting attorney, the atmosphere became tense. The visibly nervous boy sat in the witness chair. The judge began by asking simple questions to establish whether AJ understood the difference between truth and lies. A particularly moving moment occurred when the prosecutor asked AJ if his mother was present in the courtroom. AJ replied that she wasn't, saying his mother was in jail. When the judge informed him that his mother was in fact there in the room, AJ looked around, finally recognizing Amanda. At that moment, he began to cry, a scene that moved many of those present in the courtroom. Despite the emotionally difficult situation, AJ maintained his version of events. He described how he saw his mother throw Adrianna into the pool and hold her head underwater. AJ also presented a drawing he had made during the initial investigation, in which he illustrated the crime scene. AJ's testimony, although at times inconsistent in some details, as is common in testimonies from young children, remained firm in its central allegation that he saw his mother drown Adrianna. He described how Adrianna was screaming and how Amanda put her hand over her face to muffle the screams. Amanda's defense tried to discredit AJ's testimony, arguing that a child his age could be easily influenced or confuse reality with fantasy. They also suggested that the trauma of the event could have affected his memories. At the end of his testimony, in a gesture that captured the emotional complexity of the situation, AJ waved and smiled at his mother as he left the courtroom. This moment highlighted the dilemma faced by a child caught between telling the truth and loving his mother. AJ's testimony was a crucial element in the prosecution's case and had a significant impact on the jury. The decision to allow such a young child to testify in such a serious case generated debate about the ethics and reliability of such a practice in the judicial system. In addition to AJ's testimony, the prosecution presented statements from Amanda's co-workers, who reported her negative comments about Adrianna. They mentioned that Amanda frequently expressed frustration with the girl, going as far as saying she was fed up and that she was going to kill her own daughter. Another crucial point in the trial was the revelation that Amanda had thrown away most of the children's toys a week before the incident. Initially, Amanda had told the police that she had locked the toys in the shed as punishment and planned to return them later. However, upon investigation, the shed was found empty of children's toys. The prosecution also drew attention to the fact that Adrianna was not Amanda's first child to die under mysterious circumstances. Amanda's firstborn, Alex, had died at 16 months of age due to an alleged seizure disorder. Although there was no direct evidence linking Amanda to Alex's death, this information raised more suspicions about her. During her own testimony, Amanda maintained her innocence. She admitted that her relationship with Adrianna was difficult due to the girl's ADHD and behavioral problems, but insisted that she loved her daughter and would never intentionally harm her. Amanda tried to explain the inconsistencies in her behavior and the poor conditions of the house, but her explanations did not seem to fully convince the jury. Amanda's defense tried to present alternative explanations for Adrianna's bruises, suggesting they could have come fights between the children or from AJ hitting Adrianna with his toy gun. They also argued that the incident with the Windex cleaning product, mentioned by AJ, had occurred a week before Adrianna's death. Amanda's boyfriend, Alan Corelli, testified in her defense, stating that he had never witnessed Amanda physically abusing the children. He also corroborated Amanda's version that the Windex incident had occurred before the fatal day. However, AJ's testimony, combined with the physical evidence and the statements from Amanda's co-workers, weighed heavily against her. The prosecution argued that Amanda, frustrated with Adrianna's behavior, had reached a breaking point and resorted to extreme punishment that resulted in the girl's death. After 4 days of trial and presentation of evidence, the case was handed over to the jury. Surprisingly, the jury took only 2 hours to deliberate, including lunchtime. On February 28, 2008, Amanda Lewis was found guilty of first-degree murder and aggravated child abuse. In March 2008, Amanda was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The severe sentence reflected the gravity of the crime and the jury's conviction that Amanda had deliberately caused her own daughter's death. After the conviction, the case continued to generate controversy and debate. Some argued that Amanda was unfairly convicted, suggesting that AJ's grandparents could have influenced his testimony or that detectives could have manipulated the boy's confession. Others questioned whether it was appropriate to rely so heavily on the testimony of a 7-year-old child in a murder case. In 2010, Amanda filed an appeal to contest her conviction. However, the appeal was unsuccessful, and the conviction was upheld. Amanda continued to maintain her innocence, insisting that Adrianna's death was a tragic accident. Meanwhile, AJ was adopted by a new family and grew up away from the consequences of the trial. In a later interview, when asked about AJ's whereabouts, Amanda showed no knowledge of her son's adoption, expressing that her dream was to get out of prison and reunite with him again. The Adrianna Hutto case continues to be discussed and analyzed, raising important questions about the reliability of young children's testimony in criminal cases. The challenges of investigating suspicious deaths of children within the family environment, and the role of circumstantial evidence in homicide cases. The trial and its consequences also generated debate about the ethics of allowing very young children to testify in such serious cases, especially against their own parents. Psychologists and child development experts continue to discuss the possible long-term impacts that such an experience can have on a child. Today, Amanda Lewis, now over 40 years old, continues to serve her life sentence. AJ, now an adult, lives his life away from the spotlight of this tragic case. The legacy of the Adrianna Hutto case remains as a somber reminder of the challenges faced by the criminal justice system in dealing with cases involving the death of children and the complexities of family dynamics. If you found the content relevant, please subscribe to the channel for more real criminal cases and their implications. Share your opinions in the comments. Do you think justice was served? What ethical questions does this case raise? Turn on notifications for future videos. Thank you for watching.